Hey, it's Rick Beats with Kazoo Sports. I'm here with the state of the program, sitting with the athletics director for Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And we're sitting here now with athletics director Mindy Johnson of Harris County.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, Mindy. So before we get too deep into these programs, which we had a great season last year, and I say we because I do feel, we're up here all the time, and when you're in the county, it is obviously it's always a we issue. We had a great year last year, sports-wise, and before we get into 2023 and start talking about 2024-25 season, tell us a little bit about yourself, coming up, what sports you played, and how you got into coaching.
Yeah, well, I'm from Smith Station, grew up there, went to Smith Station High School. Prior to that, my parents are Wayne and Kathy Bradley, and we spent all our spare time at the ball field. Softball was my first love. We hung out at Ladonia back in the day. That was the only place to go and play ball back then. But I got to watch my older sister, Christy, or KB. I got to watch her play softball. We were 4 years apart. So I didn't get to play, but they let me be the bat girl. And it didn't matter. I just wanted to be out there on that field. They would let me have batting practice. I loved it. And then I played basketball kind of on the side when it wasn't softball season. I was kind of bored, so I was, what can I do now? So I played basketball in high school too, but softball was my first love. Went to CC. Doug Key was there way back then, and he would call me every morning and recruited me, and I finally told him that I would come. And so my life now is I will be married 25 years. This coming October to DJ. He's in the business world. He is a CPO at a company in West Point, Georgia. We have two sons, Brock, who is 19, and Jack, who is 13. He plays football and wrestling, and Brock wrestles. So always been around sports. I don't think there's anything better to be around, and it's made me the person I am today.
Absolutely. Now, when you got into coaching to begin with, what sports did you coach to start off your coaching career?
I got hired here. This will be my 24th year. Roger Couch hired me. I remember coming to a job fair here. There were no PE teacher openings, but they had a brand new volleyball team. And they needed just somebody, didn't matter who, to coach it. And during the interviews, I expressed that. I'll coach anything, I'll do anything to get a job. And so they worked me into a science teaching position and coached volleyball and did that for a few years, and then started coaching the swim team. From there, I had a child, so I backed off of that a little bit with the volleyball and kept doing swim, and then coached cross country. I've been track coach, and I think that's it in terms of coaches, sports that I have coached here.
That's great. Now, how long have you been the athletics director up here?
This is my third year.
Third year.
Right.
And you mentioned, when you're talking about your family, your sister, Christy, which affectionately you even said KB.
Right, KB.
Everybody knows KB.
Everybody has a nickname up here, and hers is KB.
And everybody loves KB.
Yeah.
She coaches up here, and she has a tennis program, which has an awesome new facility.
Right.
February ribbon cutting ceremony. They had a great season. Can you talk a little bit about that tennis team? They made the playoffs, and KB and the job that she did with them this year.
Yeah, so prior to the new courts being built, we had no home. We would go to Callaway, and year before last, we would have to travel everywhere. So that is a huge blessing for us. And when you go up to that facility, KB's got the grill fired up, the hamburgers and the hot dogs going. Everybody's got smiles on their faces. Everybody loves it. You should have seen, well, I know you did see the kids' faces during the ribbon cutting, and they got out there on the courts for the first time. They are truly passionate about those courts, and they love it. And I feel like we benefited from it because this past season, the girls were region runner-up to a tough McIntosh team. We actually beat them during the season. And then when we had the region tournament, McIntosh ended up getting us. But girls were region runner-up, and both the girls and the boys teams made it to the second round of playoffs, which it's been quite some time since that's happened. So I think because we have those courts and we have a home and it's such a happy little slice of paradise, I think everybody's benefiting from that. And as far as my sister running that program, she's very protective of those courts. She takes care of those courts. And I could not ask for a better tennis coach to have on staff here as my big sister.
She was everybody wants to say kid in the candy store, kid, but that ribbon cutting ceremony, when she got in there and I asked, let me get a couple shots of you just serving a couple.
Right.
And I thought she was going to throw a couple lollipops. And
Yeah.
she came out there and just started hammering.
She can play. So she
It-
got into playing tennis in her adult life and
Did she?
over at Cooper Creek, and she was winning those banana trophies, whatever those are.
Yeah.
So she knows what she's doing. Yeah.
And
She still got it.
also the first match, Mr. Lenny was up there. And, you know, he's
Yeah.
touchdown club. I know he's up there supporting other sports. And he showed me a picture when he played tennis for Harris County.
Right.
It is great to see some of these people you didn't think played certain sports.
Right.
But we are a family up here in the county, and he was up there
Absolutely.
supporting the tennis program and KUB. But we're going to take a quick break now after that before we get into these rest of these sports. Like we said, it's a lot to cover, but it's a lot of success to get into.
Right.
So we'll be right back after this break.
Are you ready to save big on a new Chevrolet?
Make your way to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Choose America's #1 compact SUV, the Chevy Equinox, discounted up to $6,500 off. The powerful Chevy Silverados are up to $13,750 off. And the big Chevy Silverado 2500 HTs are discounted up to $6,000 off. Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika.
Get ready to smile.
Hey, welcome back to the State of the Program, sitting with the athletics director. We're here with Mindy Johnson of Harris County. All right, Mindy, now we're going to start getting into some of these sports. And I want to start off with one I know is near and dear to your heart. Coach Alex Moore, this wrestling program is a machine. It churns out college athletes. It churns out college wrestlers. You know firsthand. You mentioned you got a son, 19. Brock, he's wrestling now at Huntington College.
Huntington.
So what can you say about Coach Moore's program, the success they had last year, and where they're heading?
Well, the program as a whole, he's been doing for years what every sports program is currently trying to do right now. He has been working with the youth program, middle school and high school as one program for so many years now.
Yeah.
You know, he teaches at the middle school. He loves being there to be able to recruit them young. And so that has worked very well for the high school wrestling team, I think, just getting them at youth age and seeing them all the way up through high school. So by him making the program one county program, which is football's doing it, I'm seeing all the other sports collaborating with the rec and middle schools to do that as well. It has produced a lot of kids, put a lot of kids on the podium, not only guys but girls too. Our wrestling team, we probably have 10 to 14 girls, a full team now. We have a head coach designated for them, Coach Amy Rowland. But, you know, wrestling's a grind, and wrestling's all year. And another thing that Coach Moore does is there's camps all summer. He brings the DeNova brothers that wrestled here. You know, they come and do a camp. So it's tradition, history. It's fun for our kids, you know, wearing that DeNova t-shirt, camp t-shirt. And then another thing he does is works with Icon Wrestling, which is a wrestling club in Columbus with Stephen Flournoy. And he really tries to encourage guys in the off season, you know, go to this place, do these things. And, you know, my son Brock, he came in wrestling as a junior a little later in life, ended up getting on the podium, 4th place, and ended up getting a scholarship to Huntington because he did all of those things that Alex kind of instills in the kids to do.
Yeah, he sets them on a path that if they follow through.
Exactly.
And with the coaches he brings, I know he's had coaches come up here for a couple years that come from Iowa and stuff like this that are just top notch. In his program, I'm not just on the mat, but off the mat, hosting sectionals. I know King of the County, Queen of the County are always top notch tournaments. The sectionals last year, that was one of the best ran. It was the screens were all on point, easy to see which match. It's just something Coach Moore, he gets involved in. He gets his hands involved in the stuff.
And he doesn't have to do that, but it brings recognition to Harris County.
Absolutely.
It, you know, puts you on the map, so to speak.
Yeah.
A lot of hard work, but it pays off.
And he's like every year, even the year that preseason, he'll tell me, I don't know, Rick, I don't know how well we're going to do this year. We got a lot of young kids.
Right.
Then here we go to the
Well,
state tournament. We got Easton Bowling going for the state championship. And it's
Yes.
like, you know, he knows it, but it's like he downplays his own success.
Right.
So any chance I get, I always want to say Coach Moore has one of the top programs in the entire state. It's
Yeah.
absolutely in the area, but in the entire state.
Absolutely.
And making the change, different regions and all that, he's going to keep on trucking because it's a machine.
Right. I think we're 4 years consistent region champs, region traditional. So yeah, he's doing good stuff.
Okay, we'll go now. You're one of the few, if I think it's only 2 athletics directors in the area that are females. And last year, Harris County had an unbelievable season of female sports. You go from start of the year with softball. I believe that's usually the first sport to get going.
Yeah.
Then you go to track, which was going past graduation. During graduation, we had the female tracks team out competing for a state championship, only a couple points away.
2 points.
So you're looking at a team, and the basketball team was 1 point away from the Final Four. This female sports, what does it mean to you when you can look back and say Harris County's female sports are the top in the state?
It means everything to me that those girls are getting to experience those things, because thinking back to my childhood, that's what kept me going.
Yeah.
That's what kept me in school. That's what made me want to go to college. That's what helped me to become a PE teacher and a coach.
Absolutely.
The feelings, you know, you think back, those are some of the best feelings of your life. You know, the wins, the losses, everything that comes with it, the team, the camaraderie, the team building. So it makes me smile to know that our girls are having successful, happy seasons throughout high school. It's a good thing.
The first sport I want to get into, female sport, was a basketball team. Coach Ram Dunn. Coach Ram, we call her. Coach Dunn. If
Coach
people don't know
Dunn,
her
we're
on
still getting
a
used
feet-
to that. We're like,
can't-
who is
can't really
that?
say it. So Coach Ram had an unbelievable season.
Unbelievable, yeah. And she
Undersized.
saw it coming.
Did she?
Like, she knew it. She knew it was coming.
Yeah, they were. When you looked at them out on the court before the game, nobody really. You had no Jessica Carter. You had no
Right.
big tall. But them girls could play some basketball. You had, you know, up and down the court, they'd outrun anybody. So speaking of Coach Ram, when you think about her program and where it's heading,
It's going up. You know, she's very consistent, and also I want to throw Coach Lucy Ellison in there too. They're a good team. They know what they're doing. They got a solid program. They're working those girls out. I kid you not, 4 days a week, 4 hours a day. They're hitting the weight room, on the floor, improving, working out the kinks. So it's just going to continue to get better.
yeah, the excitement level is just a couple of years ago. I remember we had a touchdown club meeting during a playoff game, and it was so loud you could hardly talk to one another in the media center
Right.
from how loud the gym was.
Right.
And then it's kind of the female basketball, the girls
Was that
basketball.
Cartersville?
That was a Cartersville game.
Ooh,
And so it's
we
just
won in
getting
free
going.
throws, and yeah.
And you look at last year, the excitement, it's not just, you know, it had always been the girls' game was before the boys, and everybody comes late. But up here, it's everybody shows up early to make sure they
Right.
get there for the girls' game and watch them girls play and how phenomenal they are.
Yeah.
We'll go now from basketball to flag football. Newer sport, I believe it's the 4th year, and the state's had it, not just in Harris County, in the entire state. Basketball player, Cricket Collie, the quarterback with the flag football team. You're 2 years removed from a state championship game. Last year had an upset, got upset in the Elite Eight, but he's still in the top 8 program in the
Yep.
state. What can you say about Coach Zach Moss, the coach from the first year having the team? So from the ground up, he's built this program
He
into
has.
what it is now.
Yeah. You know, Zach, like Ramsey, he's got a system going. It's well-oiled machine, and you know, that darn Southeast Bullock, they get us. But the girls that play flag football, you know, are athletes.
Yeah.
You know, they're dogs. You know, they play everything else. So that's such a short season, and some of them are coming off another sport, going right into another sport, and so they just get it. They just pick up real quick. Coach Moss is really strategic, and he knows who to put where. And I'm looking very forward to this season. He got the Region Coach of the Year or Area Coach of the Year last year. We won the area championship again. So we've got that winning tradition going, and it's going to continue. We had a young team last year.
Yeah, real young. I
And-
think you only replaced 2 seniors from
Right.
the year before.
So you're starting off from there, which is a good thing.
And like we said, it's a new sport. I'll tell anybody that hasn't come to a flag football game, come check it out. It's the fastest growing sport around.
Yeah.
But tryouts this year, you had girls that have been starters on other sports that's
Right.
never played flag. That's like, hey, I want to get involved. I want to be involved in this. It looks so fun. And then they play it, and these girls are falling in love with it. And Coach Moss, both Coach Mosses, we'll give Brittany a shout out too. She's been there from day one as well.
She has. They're a good team.
Yeah, sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law.
It's
Yeah.
So Coach Moss, Brittany, has done a real good job, and having her there for the girls has been so important. And it's fun watching her. She was only there, at the beginning, she's there kind of supporting the girls a little bit, having a female for them to talk to.
Right.
And now she's learned the game. She's gotten into it, and it's watching her grow and develop
Right.
her coaching abilities.
And she and Zach are both alumni, which
Yeah.
I know we have to have at least 10 coaches on staff among our teams that are alumni. They went to Harris County. They love it. They live here. They grew up here. Their children are in school here now.
And that means a lot when you have, like
Yeah.
you said, their children are here, but their heart's here.
Their
This
heart's
is
here.
where they want to see Harris County
That's
do
right.
good, not just because they're a coach for that sport, because they love Harris County. They
Right.
know what this school means. And the opportunity we see every year with the scholarships, when you have the signing days and all this, they're packed.
Yeah.
And it's not just, football or basketball. It's all these sports from top to bottom. And that says a lot about Harris County, is not just athletically, but academically as well.
Right.
And the platform these kids are on to, go to success. So we go from flag football and basketball. Let's talk about some running sports. We'll go to cross country first.
Yeah.
We know Effie Ward had a phenomenal season, but just talk a little bit about
She
the
did.
cross country team.
Cross country, we have a very strong girls distance program. The guys are really young. It's coached by Donnie Ellis, which Donnie has been a community coach here for probably 6-7 years now, and he retired from the military, so he's able to devote a lot of time to the program. He probably devotes 90% of his life to the program, and it shows. Very strict training regimen, so we're glad to have him on board full-time. Effie leads the team, obviously. With cross country, she was third in the state individually. The girls got 6th place overall out of 32 teams, at Carrollton. And we had a very young team that year as well last year, so all those girls are back. And, I expect to see some state championships from them. But cross country's it's a machine, and it goes all year long, and it goes into track. So we're really proud of the progress
And
cross country.
we can transition from cross country into track ourselves.
Yeah.
You mentioned just a couple points short, Coach Nesbitt and them coming up just short. Effie, we had Hannah Huff with the track and field.
Yeah.
Hannah had a phenomenal season with shot put and discus. You had Addison Fowler, had all these girls that had these great seasons and coming up just short, but they're all young. It's a young
Right.
team too, with some talent coming back. So speak a little bit on the track team and where they're heading.
Really young, and then Savannah Sparks was a good jumper, just graduated, but we did not graduate many seniors. Yeah, we fell at the state championship by 2 points. We were almost there. We have all those same girls coming back. Effie, state champ, 1600, 3200, runner up in the 800. The girls 4x18 was state runner up. Have all those girls back. So, I think we're going to get a redo this year, and they got a little taste of it, and they know what they're doing, and they know how to correct what went wrong, and I'm looking very forward to it. Very strong program overall with track. Nesbitt does an awesome job.
Let's talk about the Tiger Sharks, the swim team. I know it's still fairly new in this area, but we've been fortunate enough with the community center, and it bled into having this. And now you're seeing not just Harris County having a track team, some of the success that came from that. Speak on that a little bit for us.
Yeah, well, swim, we started with one girl way back when I first got here, Elise Pilcher, which she still holds a record for one of the events. But that next year, took over the program, and the kids had to go practice on their own. And I would take them to meets, but with the community center and Ashley over there, she works so very well with us, lets us use that pool whenever we want. And we host some really big, really good meets. Everybody compliments us on coming here, a beautiful facility. So that makes us really proud. But the swim team's doing great. Crystal Hardy, she took over it a couple years ago. Didn't really know anything about swim, but is ex-military, so and has coached volleyball before, so you know how to coach, and you know how to relate with the kids. But yeah, we got a rock star, Mia Balon. She will be a senior this year, but she was state runner-up last year in the 100 fly. So we're looking for a state championship for her this year. She's getting heavily recruited by some teams, making us really proud.
Yeah, when they got the email this year about how well Mila did at the state, you're like, holy crap, this team is
right.
You don't hear about.
We have never had a state runner-up. We come in the top 10, but
yeah,
state runner-up, that's big time.
When you get in the email saying the success that she had, and you're like, you have football going on, you have all these other sports, and you're like, dang, even the swim team's out here winning, female.
Right.
female
and a lot of times
success.
people still say, you guys have a swim team?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a swim team.
And it's successful,
It's
too.
been very successful, yeah. Which you don't hear a lot about it, Rick, because, with swim, you don't necessarily have to have a region schedule and region championships because they qualify based on their individual times to make it to state. So that's probably one reason.
And it's off campus.
Why it goes under the radar.
And being off campus, you kind of, lose track of it.
Right.
Anytime you lose, it used to be Harris County left campus for a lot of sports. Baseball was over at Moultrie. You had, so even you mentioned tennis having to go to Callaway.
Yeah.
But now it's like ringing these sports back
So
on
what you're
campus.
saying is we need to get a pool now.
Hey, you got room out here behind left field in the baseball field. So we'll go. How about this volleyball program?
Yeah.
Coach Grant was here for years, had a highly successful program.
So many years, yeah.
7 years, and he was successful with the program. You see a lot of trophies that he won throughout his time here. Love seeing him at the signing days and all this.
Right.
So why don't you introduce the new head coach a little bit to everybody, and then tell us about where you see that program head.
So Casey Mobley, he, if I'm not mistaken, I think Casey went to Harris County. He's the head coach. And Casey, once upon a time, and he was the assistant coach. He has been for volleyball for the last couple of years. Once upon a time, he was an assistant coach for our softball program, a long time ago. And his assistant coach now, Brooke Zerner, was the head softball coach at one time. So they are no strangers to working together, to coaching together. So they're on, instead of being on the softball field, now they're on the volleyball court together. But I will hear them in the gym. They're at it. They started in July after Dead Week. Excitement. I can hear it in his voice. He is on fire about this year and this program. And, continuing the success and, of course, trying to amplify that success a little bit.
Yeah, we're excited anytime a new coach comes in. Even when they're an assistant that comes in, they know the culture.
Right.
And they know what the expectations are. Volleyball is expected to make the playoffs each year.
Right.
And it's exciting to have those type of expectations, but we're excited to have Coach Mobley coming in and keeping that tradition going. And we'll be right back after this.
Are you ready to save big on a new GMC?
At Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika, you can own one of the best-selling vehicles in the USA. The GMC Sierra pickup is discounted up to $14,500 off. The roomy and comfortable GMC Terrains are up to $8,250 off. And the GMC Acadias with 3 spacious rows and seating for 7, discounted up to $8,000 off. At Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika,
Get ready to smile.
Hey, welcome back to State of the Programs. I'm here with Athletics Director Mindy Johnson. Mindy, we're talking with some of the success of the female sports, and so we'll go now into this ladies golf team that had a great season and phenomenal play by Lee Allen. Was every week I'd get, best player of the tournament, lowest scored, Lee Allen. What can you say what she brought and how, her play seemed to propel everybody else on that team?
Yeah. So Lee transferred into us her junior year last year, thank goodness. Very, very glad of that. But, Yeah, she brought a lot of leadership, and she was the low medalist at the area tournament, low medalist at a lot of the local tournaments. Um, I, and just knowing her like I know her, she seems very humble and just a quiet leader.
Yeah.
And she did bring a lot of spark to the team.
And last season, you know, during the football team was having this great run, this cheer team started kind of taking off where they had these little meets and you hear about them and it's like, hey, the playoffs coming up.
Yeah.
But they kind of caught fire and started finishing well. And I believe, top 10 in the state by
Yeah.
the end of everything. So what can you say about Coach Steele and her cheer program?
Yeah, so Coach Steele's another alumni. This year she has Lauren Wright working with her, which Lauren is alumni as well. They both cheered. But you need to do yourself a favor and come to a cheer competition this year just to watch Coach Steele. You know, they have their 2 coaches' chairs over there, sitting there watching the routine, and she is literally on the floor, banging the floor, jumping up and down, so full of excitement. A couple of years ago, we put the 2 teams back together as one. We had sideline going and didn't have competition. We brought competition back and merged the 2 teams together, and it has been beautiful. They got a booster club going. The moms are all excited. Even, you know, got some cheer dads helping out. But we were seeded. We came in 3rd in the region last year, which, you know, we wanted to beat Northside, and we did. So we were seeded 15th going into state, and Rick, we came out top 10. And it's all because of the vision Coach Steele has for that team, her enthusiasm and love for that program.
Yeah, I see her on game nights with football. You see her down on the field pregame with the girls, and how excited she is for them.
Right.
How she, you know, she wants them to, you know, look, you know, project well and look good for everybody, hit all the marks, and you know, just it's fun seeing coaches that are that into it for the kids, not just for themselves.
Yeah, she lived that life in high school, and she wants that for them.
And then we'll finish it up with the female sports with softball.
Yeah.
Obviously, we did a thing with Coach Jenkins, Brandon Jenkins coming up from Columbus, 3-time state champion. What does it say for Harris County to be able to bring in a coach with this kind of success?
It says a lot, and you know, Harris County softball has always done very well.
Very well.
Very well in the region, going to the Elite 8. But it's time now to take that to the next level.
Yeah.
And that's what we're looking for here. Excellence, history with winning. We want to bring that to our teams, to our girls, just to get them to the next level. I was joking around with Coach Jenkins, you know, we need to start saving up for some state rings this year, so I'm kind of putting the pressure on him. But there's a lot of excitement in the air in regard to softball. It's new, it's a change, we're on fire. We know what he can do with this program. He's got a rock solid coaching staff. There again, another alumni is helping him coach, and so he's got a full staff. He's got position coaches, everybody where they need to be, and it's going to be very exciting.
And he knows firsthand the team that he inherited, because unfortunately for Harris County, he's eliminated us the last 2 years in the championship and in the Final Four. So he knows all the girls that were coming back from last year.
Yeah.
The Riley Huckabee and Chloe Wolfenberger coming in. It's, you know, it's fun to talk with him because he knows the girls coming in and what he had inherited. But for him to, you know, he sees what it is up here, how tight we are as a family. And, you know, it's exciting to see this thing, like you said, this every year that's been successful. It's an Elite 8. Going to Columbus is going to play at South Commons is the expectation for the softball program. Not many teams in the entire state have that as their expectation. That, hey, we're going to make it to Columbus that weekend, you know, right before the Halloween weekend. That's where we're going to be at. And for him to come in here after winning 3 state championships, the last 2, and saying, okay, let's, you know, I want to be the one to push them over that edge. And I'm so excited. I know Georgia Alabama Sports Live is excited. We're going to broadcast some games. Coach Jenkins is, you know, full board, on board for doing that. So I think it says a lot for this county, for the community to bring in a coach of that standard to come into that program.
I think the timing's perfect. It's definitely time for that, the next level. I'm glad Brandon was able to get up here with his family.
Yeah.
You know, he lives here, his kids are here, and I'm just happy that he can be a part of their lives too and see
Oh, yeah.
them through the school day.
Yeah,
So it's special.
Oh, very special with his sons. You mentioned his sons. We'll flip to the boy sports now. We'll go to baseball. His sons both on the baseball team. He has twin boys. His girls on the cheerleading.
Yeah.
Carly Grace on the cheer squad stuff. But Coach Dimitri come in last year. Obviously had a horrendous start to the season.
Yeah.
8-game losing streak, 7-game losing streak. But talking with Coach Dimitri after every game, and a lot of the games were close games. We broadcast some of them. You know, it's an error. You know, an error here. You know, just one mistake
Errors.
here. And he kept saying, "Rick, we're going to be fine. Rick, we're going to be fine." He came within a game from winning the region.
He
and
did.
McIntosh was coming off a state championship. They went undefeated in region
Went
play.
from 0-7, right?
You're a
So-
game away from a region championship. And look, it's no secret in the county. We've had these little league teams playing for a couple of years. That's gone down to Warner Robins.
Yeah.
They've stayed together through middle school. Now they're walking across the street.
Yeah.
They're coming here. You got Coach Dimitri. What's the excitement level for Coach Dimitri after what he did last year? And then you're seeing these, you know, the freshman and JV teams were both phenomenal last year. And you're replacing a little bit on the, you know, base with the pitching side. Fisher Cantrell went Division One. How excited are you about this baseball team?
I'm super excited, and you know, you said his words verbatim. It's gonna be fine. I spoke with him after every game, and I've never seen anyone more calm and steady, and just focused and in control of his team and his coaching staff and what he's doing. And he knows it's a process, and he knows there's going to be bumps and bruises. And he just stayed the course and stayed calm, you know, and we may have been like, what's going on? Even when Fisher Cantrell got hurt, broke his finger, it's almost like it didn't faze him. He said, we'll adjust. We'll adjust, and he does. But the young talent coming up is phenomenal. And we know it, and we see it, and we're super excited, you know, and we're region runner-up last year, and you go, we need to be region champs this year. So put the pressure on him.
Shout out to Cole McLemore. We talked a little bit before. When Fisher got hurt, Cole came in.
Cole stepped in.
And he was flat dominant.
He did an awesome job.
So shout out to Cole
I'm
for
proud
that.
of Cole, yeah. Good job, Cole.
And so Coach Dimitri, I told you, he's excited about what's coming on, but he's always about the future. He wants to, you know, put the program out there. He wants anything he can do to put it out there, put Harris County on the map in any which way, which I think that says a lot about, you know, it ain't about, you know, it's not about Tony Dimitri to Coach Dimitri. It's about Harris County.
Right.
And he's always, you know, up front on say, hey, what can we do to get the word out there about my boys, about this team?
Right.
So I think that's
super selfless, and what I've seen with him, with his coaches, he allows them to do their job, and he builds them up because he knows that eventually they may want to be a head coach, and that's really the most impressive thing about him. Is that it's not about him. and he knows it.
So with Coach Dimitri having his first year, so we're talking about another new coach coming in. Basketball was a bit of a rebuild last year, transition year. Coach Watson stepped up from football, said, hey, I'll take care of it, and done a good job at the end of the year, winning some games at the region tournament, and kind of surprised.
We got Northside. We love
Northside.
Northside, but it's, you know, it's a sweet victory.
Yeah, so he stepped in. Now we have this new coach. Introduce, you know, tell everybody about who the new basketball coach is for the boys this year.
Yeah, the new coach is James Baird. He hails from Tennessee. He has some coaching experience up near Chattanooga. He's a basketball guy. He is a special ed teacher, and that's what's really impressive about him to me is how organized he is, how much he loves that job, and it transitions over to basketball. The organization, the plan, got a perfect plan in place. Very impressed with the things he wants to do with that team. They're hard at work in the gym. Now there's a lot of guys out there. They're looking pretty good. But Coach Baird actually was part of the program last year. He assisted a little bit, ended up actually at some games taking on the head coach role. Coach Watson was gone with Levi on some visits.
Yeah.
So he stepped up. Actually, that Northside game, he coached that game. So he's really focused, up and down the sideline, determined. He loves the guys, he loves the program, and he's got big plans.
Yeah, that Northside game, he's definitely high energy. You can
Yeah.
see him shooting up
Right.
and down the court, working the refs.
Right.
And it was really fun to see,
Yes.
you know, him. You could see he was becoming that head coach that you could see.
Yes.
You know, I think he might have got up here a little too late in the year after all that was
Yeah.
kind of determined. But I'm excited to see the team next year because of the success from the female. It has to bleed over, and the
Right.
boys can't let the girls outdo them all the time.
That's right.
So you have that now with the. I was talking the other day, Coach Brooke D-Rock,
D-Rock.
talking about track. He loves talking
Alumni.
about his track team.
Yeah.
What can we say about these boys' track team and where they're heading, and Coach Brooks taking them?
Yeah, again, they're super young, and D-Rock, he can train anybody up, right? All of our athletes want to train Coach D-Rock, and he doesn't. He's not really overbearing with them. He gives them just enough. Big encourager, great to have on staff. He's on fire all the time, and we're looking very forward to the guys stepping up next year, filling that gap between the guys and the girls. So yeah, big things to come with that.
Yeah, he's absolutely excited. Golf, lost Coach Sweat, went to Panama City, a little jealous of the Panama City part.
Right, right.
But Wingard was
Wes
coaching them up
Wingard.
at the end of the year.
Wes Wingard, he did a phenomenal job. He had to step up and
He did.
control the program, and he did a great job. And
You know, he inherited it at a time,
He did.
the most important time of the year. You have all these
Yeah.
tournaments coming up, and they just kept placing, you know, top five. They go to the state tournament. They had a top 8 season, I believe.
Seven.
Seven, yeah, there was 6 or
Seventh in the
7.
state,
So
yeah.
you're looking at, and that's Wingard on the job he did. So we're excited about talk a little bit about the boys team on the golf side.
Yeah, the boys, they're relatively young. You know, we got Gates Glanton, really good player, being recruited, going to all these showcases and tournaments. Great kid, coming back next year. We got little Boyd Green. He ended up getting hurt and couldn't compete in state, but you know, he's super young. We still got LaFortune. So a lot of those same guys back, and you know, they're always ready to go. They play all year long. They don't miss a beat. You know, they wouldn't know what to do besides get up on the weekend and go play golf. But yeah, we're super excited about the boys golf team. We have Tommy Cox. He's going to be the head golf coach. And actually Tommy Watson's going to be assisting him. He's coming out of retirement with golf. I know that he was a head golf coach at Lambert, I believe.
He was. Levi was
And
really
he was
good
a
at the
good
golf
player. So you got the two Tommies heading up that team, and they're just going to take it to the next level.
Talking to Coach Watson, now we're going to go to the football, which is usually your marquee program at these schools.
Yeah.
No different here. People follow the football program. It's your last season was the best season Harris County ever had in the history. The first time
Right.
ever winning double digits. It was Coach Watson's second season.
Yeah.
After last year, before we talk about this year coming up, which we're all excited about, especially some of the games y'all got scheduled.
Yeah.
What did it mean last year to the school and to the community to have such a successful season?
It meant everything. You know, people in this community are going to support our team no matter what, but it was a whole nother level of support and excitement. And, you know, we had that playoff game, Jefferson.
Yeah.
That was the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, nobody's coming to this game. Stands were packed, people everywhere. I think that might have been the most fans we've had at a game this year. So it meant a lot, and it brings the community together, and it sets the tone for the whole entire athletic program.
Yeah, we had Taekwon Marshall on the sideline. Tay Crowder came down
Yeah.
on the sideline. You had alumni from all over. Everybody was
Right.
up on the fence. You had, you know, you could see Letterman's jackets that people done growed out of them, but they
Yeah.
wore them anyway. So it brought everybody together, and
Yeah.
it got people excited for a change. Everybody's really excited about football program this year. One of the things that the excitement levels on the first game of the year,
Yeah.
bringing that Manchester game back. I'm sure you've heard a lot about, you know, the excitement coming in. You remember when you first
I
started
remember
at this
way
school,
back when we
what
played
that rivalry meant.
Manchester that first game, and it is a rivalry. And I think the timing could not be better bringing that game back. We had such a successful season last year. Manchester playing for the state championship. last year, had a great season, so I think the timing is right.
Yeah, I think it's
They're on fire, their program, we're on fire, so it's going to be a sight to see, I'm sure, in Manchester come August.
in this football program, a lot of times when you have such a great season, you think, well, they done lost. The whole team must have left.
Yeah.
And I believe we had 8 kids that got a scholarship that went on to play football.
8 or 9, yeah.
But you look at the guys coming back.
Yeah.
And we were speaking earlier off camera on some of these scholarship offers. There's a lot of talent coming back for this team. And, if you want to X's and O's side, a lot of it upfront talent and stuff like that. But just for a school, when you can say, hey, we just lost this many to got a college scholarship.
Yeah.
But, the line just keeps on moving.
That's right.
So what's that say about the program on that side of it, saying these guys that are getting academic, pressure and getting on to college?
It says everything. It's part of our vision. It's part of what we want to happen. We want these guys to go to the next level. As a parent with a child in college, he's wrestling. He's involved in athletics. It says that we care about these kids post high school. And when you were telling me about the kids that I didn't know had offers yet, it just excites me, and that's part of our job.
Yeah.
To get them to that next level. And the year before we signed 29, we signed 24 last year, and I want to get the numbers in the 30s, but it says a lot for what we're trying to accomplish here, and it's part of our vision.
Another sport, Mindy, before I forget, looking at this indoor facility as our backdrop, we see the lines cut.
Yeah.
The soccer teams, both of them went state playoff teams. Coach Renner coaching the girls. You had boys come in, both of them successful season, girls making it a little bit further. What can you say about these programs and what they meant to Harris County?
Soccer, well, actually, Coach Renner did coach the girls year before last.
Yeah.
But we have Coach Renner with the boys. Coach Mike Kinsey, he's no stranger to Harris County. He's been down at the middle school, and we're fortunate enough to get him teaching up here at the high school. So, the first thing I did was went to Mike and was like, hey, want to coach girls soccer? Kind of give Coach Renner a break, because he was doing both programs year before last, and he agreed, and I'm so glad. So now Coach Renner is able to focus on the guys and Kinsey on the girls, and it really paid off. Both teams made it to the second round of playoffs and did well in a pretty tough region. Soccer with McIntosh and Drew even. Drew's had a good team, but they ended up getting third in the region, going to the second round of playoffs, which has been a while for soccer. We'd make it to that first round, so they elevated their programs to the second round. They've been working all summer. That's one thing I'll say about my coaches. They're not taking the summer off. I mean, and you really don't have to do that. And they do. They spend their time, they love their program, they invest in their teams that much. So that means a lot to the program as a whole. I think they're going for that third round of playoffs. They, of course, won a region championship. And Jeff Renner, for the third year in a row, he got Region Coach of the Year again. And I'm like, Jeff, how do you keep getting Region Coach of the Year? You came in third place. What's going on here? But he's just such an infectious personality, likable guy. He loves his team, and that shows. And so the other coaches in the region, they want to vote for him, and they're cheerleaders for him.
Yeah,
So
Coach Kinsey,
we're proud of him.
During the signing day this year, Coach Kinsey with his
Oh,
Taylor Swift remarks and how he worked the whole.
If you ever want a guest speaker at an event, call Mike Kinsey.
And the girls love him. They love his personality. So
Right.
it was great having him his first year coming from
Right.
coach football last year, for 2 years ago for the middle school. So him coming over,
And he's
Renner.
coached several things, basketball,
Oh,
soccer,
yeah, all over the world.
football, just anything, right.
And Renner 2 years ago having both of them.
He did.
Speaking to him, you could
And-
tell it was wearing him down that
Right,
way, having
little
both
bit.
teams.
A little bit. And
So-
not only do they coach varsity, they do the JV level as well. And I don't know if you've ever seen a soccer schedule, which I know you have. There's games all week long. And you're traveling, and you're getting home late. And it's tough.
They had a game on a Saturday this last year.
Yeah.
And baseball had a game, and
Yeah.
it was had to be
It
the
was
coldest.
freezing cold. I was here. I was going back and forth,
It was so cold
trying
that
to
day.
stay warm.
Yeah, but it was it's fun. They do play a lot of games.
They do.
Squeezed in a small window.
Right.
And the two sports that Harris County is fortunate to have that's coming up through here, you have the shotgun team,
Mm-hmm.
which is really getting hitting its stride the last few years, and then bass fishing. Talk a little bit.
Right.
Tell people about those sports, the success that Harris County's had.
Yeah, well, shotgun, that's headed up by Miss Angie Everson. She teaches at Creekside, does a phenomenal job. And I don't know if many people are aware of how much travel is involved with shotgun, but they go everywhere. Ohio is one that's coming to mind. I think they're going to Ohio in July, like coming up, the 13th, if I'm not mistaken. But they're sending some kids to national, I believe 3 kids. But, you know, they do trap. The disciplines are trap, skeet, sporting clays. I think there's another one, but that's one of those sports where I don't physically get to be there and travel and see, but I do see through pictures, and I do see through articles that are written for them. But they are doing a phenomenal job, like competing, making the top 10, second, third, and fourth place out of 40-something odd teams at these large competitions. That's been a very strong program for decades now.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're glad to have that, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
And then bass fishing. You have people get college scholarships to
They
go
do.
bass fishing.
So Levi Bolton got one. Mason, Mason's last name. Mason got one. It'll come to me in a minute. But there have been a handful of guys that have gone on to the next level fishing. Levi's going to Emmanuel, a Division II school.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And
Yeah.
think, you know, people think about just the fishing, just sitting on the side of a lake fishing. These guys are out in bass boats,
Yeah.
leaving at sunlight, first light, coming back,
Right.
weighing them in. And it's these big tournaments. There's a lot of boats out there, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
pre-fishing. And these guys, are, you know, just like any other sport, it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. And I'm glad they get to have that HC on their chest when they go out there
Right.
and represent the school.
Right. So yeah, so Tiffany Garner, she transferred to us from Northside. Her son Levi, not the one that got a scholarship, another Levi, he fished, so she took it on. I don't think she had ever done that before. She did a phenomenal job, but this is a GHSA sport.
Yeah.
And they have tournaments set up, and we participated in all those. I believe we had 3 or 4 GHSA state qualifiers, and then we had a handful of Georgia Bass Nation qualifiers, which is huge if you're in the fishing world and you're familiar with what that is. So, you know, we're turning out some pretty phenomenal anglers here, and we want to get them to the next level too.
When we wrap this thing up, I want to talk about where we're sitting now.
Yeah.
It's not even a year old. This indoor facility, I think it's kind of become the calling card for Harris County.
Yeah.
But tell people about this. You know, people think it's just a football facility.
Right.
So tell the people a little bit about this indoor facility and what all it offers to the Harris
Yeah.
County High School.
So right now we're looking out at a 60-yard playing field. It has soccer lines on it. We have softball little field over here, got baseball. So all of those teams come in here when there's inclement weather. Cross country is starting to come in here. The band comes in here. You know, the band comes in here. Any sports program, activity program up here that wants to use this facility uses this facility. We bring classes up here during the school day. We bring our team sports classes up here occasionally. We bring our freshman classes up here so they can get a taste of this and be proud. So it's not just football. Football's in here a lot, but our other sports are in here just as much as well. Behind us we have this awesome weight room. Got all those bays, plenty of room to work out. Behind that we have a state-of-the-art training facility. We went from in the gym to a little closet with 1 table, training room, to we now have 4 tables, ice bath, freezers, even got a little desk in there for our trainer. On either side, they're identical. So we have 2 locker rooms, there's restrooms, there are 2 coaches' offices on each side. very much needed space. Want to thank the school board and all involved, community, taxpayers. Just, we want you to know how much this facility means to us and how much we're enjoying it. And, you know, we are the envy of a lot of schools. So when we're playing Manchester football game, and Leon Hammond, the AD over there, he's like, MJ, you got to show me this indoor facility. So I bring all of them in here, and they're just in awe. And so we're really proud and we're really appreciative.
Shoot you. Well, Mindy, we appreciate you sitting down with us. I know we're excited about the 24-25 seasons coming up quick. Fall sports start. I believe 1st of August, softball is going to crank up games.
Yep.
So we're excited about that, but appreciate you sitting down and talking to us.
Thank you, Rick.
I'm Rick Beach. This has been State of the Program, sitting with the Athletics Director. Thank you for joining us.